All right, welcome to this explainer. Let's kick things off with a pretty hard truth. You can work incredibly hard, you can earn a fantastic salary, and you can still end up completely broke by the 25th of the month. We are all kind of taught that a high income is the golden ticket to financial freedom, right? But if you actually look around, you'll notice a massive number of really high earners who are just one missed paycheck or one random medical emergency away from absolute disaster. So today, we're going to break down exactly why earning a decent salary is completely failing to translate into actual wealth, especially for young earners right now. We are going to expose the invisible, psychological traps that are literally designed to drain your bank account. And more importantly, we're going to map out exactly how you can fix it.
Because get this, according to financial behavior studies, a staggering majority of people, around 90%, stay broke despite having good and sometimes even great incomes. It's a stark reality check, and it proves that hard work alone is just never going to make you wealthy. You know, you can hustle, you can get promoted, you can even double your income. But if your underlying financial operating system is broken, that extra money, it's just going to evaporate into thin air. Earning money and keeping money are actually two entirely separate skills. And here is the real problem. Society, our schools, our universities, they only ever teach us the first one. We spend like 2 decades learning how to become an employee who earns, but we spend 0 hours learning how to actually manage and multiply what we make.
This divide is captured so perfectly by Morgan Housel in his book The Psychology of Money. He points out that getting money requires putting yourself out there. It requires taking risks and being optimistic. But keeping it requires the exact opposite. It requires humility. It takes serious discipline to not just go buy a new car the second you get a bonus. It requires a profound shift in your ego. Wealth isn't about the income you generate. It's about the money you have the humility to hold on to, instead of immediately spending it just to show everyone else how much you make. The people who build real wealth are the ones who learn to quietly accumulate assets rather than loudly accumulating liabilities.
Okay, let's dive into part 1, the psychology of spending and these invisible wealth traps. You've probably experienced lifestyle creep. Honestly, it is arguably the single most effective wealth destroyer in modern life. And that's precisely because it barely even registers as a threat. Here's exactly how it sneaks up on you. You get a pay raise at work, right? Maybe you jump from earning 50,000 rupees a month to 80,000. Suddenly, that local gym you used to go to isn't quite good enough anymore, so you upgrade to a premium boutique fitness studio. You stop taking the metro and start calling Ubers everywhere, just because, well, you can afford it now. You start eating out 3 times a week instead of once. And before you even realize what's happening, that 30,000 rupee raise has quietly vanished into nicer things. Your income went up, sure, but your actual wealth stayed exactly the same. You were just living a much more expensive version of being broke.
And this trap is heavily amplified by a psychological concept called payment decoupling. Now, decades ago, if you wanted to buy something, you had to hand over physical cash. Your brain felt a literal pain of paying. You actually watched the money leave your wallet, and that visual loss acted as a natural psychological brake on your spending. But today, we just scan a UPI QR code, or we swipe a piece of plastic, or we just double-tap the side of our phones. It's completely frictionless. The dopamine rush of getting the new item is totally disconnected from the pain of losing the money. Because you don't feel that loss in real time, it becomes dangerously easy to just tap away thousands of rupees every single week without a second thought.
In everyday life, this decoupling turns into a death by 1,000 cuts. It is that daily 400 rupee artisanal coffee on the way to work. It's Swiggy or Zomato calling your name every single evening because you're just a little too tired to cook. It's the, I had a really hard week, I deserve this, mantra shopping binge on a random Friday night. Or it's those 5 different OTT video subscriptions that you barely even watch but completely forgot to cancel. Now, on their own, none of these individual purchases are going to bankrupt you, obviously. But collectively, these seemingly harmless, frictionless little treats act as a massive psychological leak in your finances. They keep you permanently stuck on a treadmill, working 40 hours a week just to consume, leaving absolutely nothing left over to actually build your freedom.
Moving right along to part 2, the status trap and high-interest EMIs.
So, we currently live in what behavioral researchers call the digital panopticon. Think about it. You open Instagram, and you are immediately bombarded with an endless, perfectly curated highlight reel of other people's best moments. Your friends dining at luxury cafes, acquaintances taking these aesthetic random trips to Bali, or influencers unboxing the latest flagship gadgets. This constant, aggressive lifestyle flexing actually forces young adults into a loop of social comparison. It triggers what's called relative deprivation. It's that deep, sinking feeling that you are somehow falling behind in life, even if you are actually doing completely fine. And to cure this status anxiety, people end up spending money they don't actually have on things they don't even need, solely to impress people on the internet.
And how exactly are they funding this carefully curated aesthetic? Through debt. Buy now, pay later schemes and high-interest EMIs for things like designer sneakers or new laptops are intentionally designed to drain your purchasing power. When you buy that 1 lakh rupee phone on a high-interest EMI, you aren't just paying for the phone. A massive 30% chunk of your total payment over the next year is going straight to interest. You are literally mortgaging your own future income just to hold a shiny object today. Every single time you lock yourself into an EMI for a depreciating consumer good, you are robbing your future self just to give your present self a temporary ego boost.
Alright, so how do we fix this? Let's get into part 3, the wealthy playbook and the actionable roadmap.
There is a really stark contrast between these two mentalities. First, you have the stay broke mindset. This person pays everyone else first, right? The landlord, the restaurants, the phone company, and then they try to save whatever happens to be left at the end of the month, which, let's be honest, is usually nothing. When making a purchase, their only question is, can I afford the monthly EMI? But then you have the build wealth mindset. This person pays themselves first. They invest an automated amount immediately when their paycheck hits, and they only spend what is left after saving. They don't care about EMIs. They look at the total cost of the item, and they calculate the opportunity cost of what that exact same money could have earned through compound interest if they had just invested it instead.
Over a decade, the math behind these two behaviors is completely brutal. The spender and the wealth builder might start their careers at the exact same company, making the exact same salary. But the spender leans heavily on EMIs to fund their lifestyle and has zero long-term investments. 10 years down the line, they're incredibly vulnerable to inflation and seriously just one medical emergency away from total ruin. The wealth builder, on the other hand, stubbornly carries no consumer debt, steadily funnels a portion of their income into simple index funds, and just lets time do the heavy lifting. The wealth builder ends up with a significant net worth, and it's not because they earned a single rupee more, but simply because they behaved better.
We really need to completely redefine what wealth actually is. Thomas Stanley, who wrote The Millionaire Next Door, noted this perfectly after studying thousands of genuinely wealthy people. He said, "Wealth is what you accumulate, not what you spend." Wealth isn't the flashy car, it isn't the oversized watch, and it certainly isn't the designer sneakers you display to the world. Those are just artifacts of spending. They tell the world you used to have money, but you went and spent it. Real wealth is entirely unseen. It's the portfolio of index funds quietly compounding in the background. It's having that 6-month emergency cushion. It's the ultimate freedom to just walk away from a toxic job and having absolute control over your own time.
So, what do we do today? Part 4. Take action and start building wealth.
First up, we need to violently kill lifestyle creep, and we do that with a super simple, non-negotiable framework called the 75% rule. The very next time you get a pay raise, a promotion, or a Diwali bonus, commit to automatically saving or investing 75% of that new, extra money before it ever even hits your everyday spending account. Literally, do not even let yourself see it. This ensures your wealth grows aggressively right alongside your career, but it still leaves 25% of the raise for a guilt-free lifestyle upgrade. You absolutely still get to reward yourself for your hard work and enjoy your success, but you do it without sacrificing your future financial freedom.
Next, you have to actively introduce some friction back into your spending habits. Step 1, automate your investments. Set it up right now so your money flows directly into a mutual fund or index fund the very morning you get paid. If the money isn't sitting there in your account, you literally can't spend it. Step 2, delete one shopping or food delivery app from your phone today. Right now. Whether it's Swiggy, Zomato, or Mantra, pick one and delete it. Add friction to your impulses so you are forced to actually feel the pain of paying again. And step 3, build a 6-month emergency cushion. This is your financial armor. It is literally the only thing that's going to keep you out of the high-interest debt trap when life inevitably throws a curveball your way.
So I want to leave you with a provocative question to really chew on. Are you actually building real wealth, or are you just busy upgrading your lifestyle for an audience that doesn't really care? Remember, a high income is a tool, it is not a guarantee of security. If you don't aggressively control your financial habits, your habits are going to dictate your future. I challenge you to make just one small change this week. Go automate that first investment or literally delete that one delivery app right now. Take back control. If this explainer helps shift your perspective on money even a little bit, make sure to hit subscribe for more insights that break down the complexity of personal finance. Until next time, stay focused on your wealth.